Well, hello and welcome to Know Thyself. This is Dr. David Eldridge, and thank you so much for dropping by. I'm so happy that you're here. This is something that I cherish, this particular BG5 career design overview, and I look forward to the possibility and the potential to really impact your life in a profound way by sharing this with you. So let's get started. So welcome to Grand Coaching Central. Just a quick picture there of my coaching platform. And let's get right into the essence of what we're talking about here and the possibilities for you in your life. Now, this is Napoleon Hill, and many of you may know Napoleon Hill in terms of Think and Grow Rich, The Law of Success. These books have been on the top 10 best-selling personal development books for decades. And so here's what he said 100 years ago, really back in 1925 when this Law of Success came out. And this really encapsulates kind of the essence of what we're getting to with the BG5 overview. One of the outstanding tragedies of the world is the fact that most people never engage in the work for which they're best fitted, and the key word, by nature. And this really sums it up in terms of what we're looking to do. And if you saw the introductory video on the front of my site, you can understand that where I'm coming from in terms of this is what I've seen over a lifetime of working one-on-one with people, most of that time in the healing arts, and seeing the ramifications of not being connected to your nature, not being connected to your gifts, trying to be something you're not. There is a huge price to pay, and our entire world is suffering from that right now. And we have something to share with you that can make a major turnaround in this reality and really help you in a very deep and extraordinary way connect to your natural gifts, strengths, and abilities, understand what gets in your way, and do your thing in the world, because we all need to be functioning at our best to make a difference with the way the world is shaping up these days. So that really sums it all up right there. But let's go a little bit further. Now, I've got a huge global Gallup poll that sits on my desktop here, 200 pages, really getting into what's taking place in the global workplace, America as well. What they came up with was only 13% of employees worldwide are even engaged at work. Engaged means simply that you care. It's better in the United States, 33% in the American workplace, and in the world's top organizations, they do a pretty good job in pulling about 70% into that engagement. 27% of college grads have a job that's related to their major, so they're not connecting with that early on. 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. People start hating their jobs at age 35. And again, just recalling that video in terms of the ramifications of that in all areas of life being impacted with that experience of hatred, and coming home and sharing that with our family, our friends, and it's really heartbreaking. When I graduated from chiropractic school, only 50% would even ever open a practice. This is what we were told by the administration of the school. So that's 4 years of undergrad study. That's 4 years of intense medical training and endless tests. The cost back then, 35 years ago, was I think about $75,000 just for the courses, and what to speak of all the other things that were involved. People came out with significant debt. So again, this tragedy just is pretty widespread. The big question for you is really, what difference would it make for you if you felt fully engaged in offering your unique contribution in life? Take that in for a moment. What difference would it make for you if you felt fully engaged in offering your unique contribution in life? How would that affect you? How would that affect your friends? How would that affect your family? How would that affect the world? So this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you maximize your life expression. This is why people come to me in the most authentic and genuine way possible. The BG5 overview is the most profound way that I know of to help you fully link up to your natural contribution in life. That's it. All the coaching programs that I work with are founded and are enhanced by this BG5 overview in a way that I can, well, you'd have to experience to really fully appreciate it. So the BG5 overview is 4 sessions. We get together for 30 minutes to really test the waters and make sure this is right for you. Very, very important. And I'm going to want to know exactly what's most important for you in your life right now, kind of what's going on and how I can best serve you. I want to have a really good sense of that. And then I spent about 3 hours putting together a 50-page PowerPoint presentation that we go over in 2 sessions. Session 4, we spend, answering some questions. I'll also come up with a handful of things that I think are important based on what you told me here in session number 1. So let's get into understanding a little bit about what is BG5. Well, it's base group 5, if you're wondering what the BG stands for. It's the career and business methodology of the human design system, also known as the science of differentiation. One of the things I learned early on in my career in the healing arts was that, wow, every person is a unique science unto themselves. And you are unique. And so this information is completely unique to you. It's very, very extensive. The human design was first introduced about 30 years ago. The BG5 system, just more recently, I'm one of the few here in the United States that is certified to be able to deliver this for people. And it's very complex. And at the same time, it's amazingly practical, like a user's manual for you functioning at your highest in this world. And it's a synthesis of ancient wisdom systems, anatomy, physiology, quantum physics. And you can get some more information if you'd like at the BG5businessinstitute.com. The essence, it's all about helping you be fully you. And millions of people have gone through this and uncovered this. This is really happening in the world in a big way. And it's been more popular in Europe so far, but it's now seeping into the United States in a very significant way. And it's happening. I can just tell you it is happening. And the sooner you get connected with it, the better. Now, looking at analysis out there, and I took my daughter to, in terms of investigating places we could go get information. You want to help your children, be the best they can be. So we went and found a very prominent career analysis program. We had to travel to Atlanta to do that. It was about $650. So we spent another $600 just in travel and so forth, and food and lodging and that kind of thing. And I know when I took these kinds of tests, this subjective analysis, even starting back, 44 years ago. And I've taken some of them throughout my life, just to see what's out there to help me know people better. It's subjective. In other words, it's based on you answering questions, and how you answer questions typically changes from week to week, literally, because you are have a different experience, and different things will come to you a week later that didn't come to you before, and you'll reconsider things. And it's only about your conscious awareness, whereas the BG5 is a conscious and unconscious analysis that's far more in-depth and far more detailed in terms of your entire scope of life. So all we need is your data. You'll be happy to know you don't have to answer hundreds and hundreds of questions here. All we need is your birth data, your time of birth, your date of birth, and your place of birth, okay? So let's cover the 16 tools that we go through in your career. Now, what I want to tell you also is that this is slanted towards your career because it's so practical to do it that way, and it's a big piece of life. And yet all of this information is equally valuable in the rest of your life in terms of relationships with people, in terms of how you interact with people, lots of different ways this will come into your life. So while this is slanted for your career, it's valuable in your entire life. So the first thing we cover is what's called your career type. And this is kind of like your overall operating system, and there are 4 types. And actually there are 5, one of them is split into 2. Now in here we describe a little bit, lots of different things, but essentially one of the key things is really understanding your energetic presence, so to speak. And it does have a physicality to it. You will understand it and feel it and experience it in yourself and others over time. Each type, we're going to give you and share with you a natural way you're meant to profit. A very nice thing to know. And once we get this happening, we start to get into like, how do you best interact with others? Now that you understand your presence, now let's look at understanding your, how you gain access to the most natural way to interact with others. Your interaction with others can absolutely soar. It's less effort, more peace, more flow, and most importantly, less conflict. One of the key elements that what you're being introduced to is something that let me try to give you this example. When I, 30, 36 years of putting my hands on people, and I still work on my family and so forth, every now and then I would make a breakthrough in terms of somebody would give me a new awareness of how my hands could feel something more profound. And so awareness became liberating to me. Anytime I had a new awareness, and what we're doing here is really giving you a new awareness that once you become aware of it, you go to an entire level of functioning. But here, really, it's about connecting in and tuning into a more harmonious flow with others in life, which is very important, especially in today's world. Now we get to the keys to the kingdom, and really this is a major piece of it, if not the most important piece. That's why we're starred here. But really, we make a lot of decisions in life. Daily, we make decisions, and there are lots of very important decisions that we make in life. And so we're going to reveal to you your own personal way that you're, according to this system, designed to make decisions. And it's entirely different. And this is very monumental in terms of how you function in life, because guess what? We make so many important decisions, profession, obviously, for one, getting married, having children, buying a house, buying cars. Daily, we make decisions about our life. And so once this takes place, and it happens over time, it's not like you jump in and you start making decisions as yourself right away. This takes time, weeks, months, and years. Each year becomes more impactful and profound for you as you get clear on how you make best decisions. So decisions are really how we navigate through life, because when you make a decision and you have to deal with the consequences, you are in a learning curve. And if you make good decisions, what happens is, guess what? All of your talents and abilities tend to come out. It's a good indicator of you making a good decision as things start to work out. You start to experience peace. You start to experience satisfaction. You start to experience success when you make good decisions in life. So this is the major piece. And if you don't get anything else, this is life-changing, just this one piece in helping you understand how you have your own unique decision-making strategy. Next, it's nice to know when we're on track, and it's nice to know when we're off track. So this is a general, simple thing that in number 4 here we cover. This is a general thing, and we get into more things in session 2 that give you more information in terms of when you're on track and when you're off track. But this is a big piece right here, and lots of fun, because it's so accurate that it's uncanny. Now, one of the things that we all do is we process information on a day in and day out basis. And how do you best process information? It's a good thing to know. For myself, I'm independent. I come home at night, I process information on my own. Others are collaborative. Where this comes in handy is some people are simply meant to work in partnership with others. And so I've worked with a couple of business owners that this has been invaluable for, because they were solo business owners trying to be independent, and it wasn't working out so great. Once I just mentioned it, they said, yeah, I always feel like something's missing. And then some folks synthesize over process information, synthesizing from several different people throughout a day. So very, very interesting and very, very different kind of information that we're going to give you here. What environment's best for you? Now, obviously, I've been a solo practitioner my whole life, and I got into this information 5 years ago at the age of 58. And so you better, believe that I was looking to see, okay, where is this going to have me? And of course, they had me as a solo entrepreneur. And so partnerships, there are small groups. Do you fit best working in a small group day in and day out? How about large organizations? Or how about an executive level position, or an executive or an owner in a large organization? So while technically any of us can work in any of these environments for a time, or to learn something, or for experience and those kinds of things, there's typically going to be one or two that is most natural for you based on your overview. So now we get into a very fascinating thing, which is called business engineering. And so when we're looking at a small business, and I work with small businesses, I'm not qualified to work in large businesses at this point. Small businesses are 9 people and less, including ownership. But a small business is interested in 12 skills. And they're not business is not necessarily interested in all of your skills, but there's 12. 4 of them have to do with the future. Planning, setting up your future, putting your administration together, putting the culture of your environment together. These are all about the future. Over here, we got the past. Your accounting, did we make money last month? Do we have enough money? Did the administration do what it said it was going to do? Looking at oversight here. And where's our commitment? Then 4 of them have to do with the present, what's happening now, like public relations. Are we attracting people? Are we making sales? Are we attracting good employees? Those kinds of things. So what we can do, we have the ability to put people into a penta. Penta means 5. And we can see how this group is functioning and what gaps this particular business has. It's really nice for you to know exactly individually. This is one person. This person has 2 skills. And it's nice to know what your skills are. And these are skills that maybe you have no training, but they would be easier to learn than the average person. And there's an energetic aspect to it. When somebody steps into a business and covers a gap, it is very, very significant. Okay, and over here we've got a fully functional business where we put 5 people into a penta, and they are covering all 12 areas of their business. Really cool stuff. And in number 8, we go into a further detail, a really more detail of business engineering. It's all about attracting the right people. So, in your skill of accounting, for example, which quality is a part of that? This is a very sophisticated piece of information, very detailed, and is quite powerful for business owners to know this, and makes a huge difference in their outcome. So session number 2 is also a little bit longer typically than session number 1. But again, we cover 8 areas in session 2. The first one is 9 functions. And all of us have all of these 9 functions within us, within our DNA, so to speak. However, each of us has ones that are, how do I put it? They're consistent, they're stable, they're available 24/7. So in number 9 here, we introduce the ones that are consistent, available 24/7, because that's telling you what you're meant to do. The other ones that are inconsistent, we go over in session 10. And so the ones that are inconsistent are equally valuable, and sometimes more valuable, because they also provide a possibility for great wisdom in terms of understanding the areas that we're not meant to work in, but we see these strengths in others. And so it's a tremendous experience to understand this. Number 11 is really a lot of fun, and it's basically understanding your personality mask, so to speak, that you're wearing in this lifetime. And most everybody connects with this pretty strongly. Really understanding the behavior that you identify with, how others perceive you, how you remember things, what allows you the greatest self-expression, how you bond or connect with others, and how you emotionally deal with others, and several things more. A lot of fun, number 11 there. Number 12, we started to get into more of a big picture of your purpose, your overall life theme. And here's mine. This is an example, but this is mine. You fulfill your purpose through mind, through thinking, educating, conceptualizing, explaining, and sharing. Very much like what I'm doing here now. When I started out in the healing arts as a massage therapist, I immediately started teaching. Started teaching hatha yoga. I started teaching racquetball and water aerobics and aerobics back then, and put together a stop smoking class. And it wasn't like I was some scholar, because I didn't really do that well in school growing up. But once I've found my niche, and again, when you're in the right environment, when you're doing the right thing, you start to come alive. Abilities you never thought you have that are you're inborn with, your nature, start to come out. Things you didn't even know, abilities you didn't even know you had. So this is really exciting when we come into this quality of information about yourself. Another thing that we go in terms of that refines where we spend time is these three areas, what's called empowering or sharing or support. Now, I'm an individual, and as you see, Dr. David Eldridge, total life empowerment coach, and the key word there is empowerment. It's because I'm highly individual, and my function is really empowerment. And let me talk about empowerment. It's very important to know that empowerment is not something you get from me. It's not something you get from the outside. It's when you become aware of something that's already inside of you. You have everything you need in life already. And this work is about helping you access that within yourself. Some people, it's about sharing their logical understanding of something, or reaching back in the past and sharing their abstract experience of something that has a way of helping the situation. And then some people are really meant to work in groups, in a tribe, so to speak, or an organization, or a church, or some kind of a team, or those kinds of things. In a support level, they're very supportive, and they like being in a group, and they even can be, for example, like policemen and people in the military. They're very supportive, and they protect us. So they have these aspects show up in their design. Let's get into your superpowers now. Superpowers are everybody's fun thing to kind of go over. And understanding, again, I gave the example of when I showed up in the right environment after a lot of struggle. I spent 4 years suffering when I got out of high school and begging to find the right thing for me. And by some miracle, I became a massage therapist back in the 70s. Nobody had doing that back then. And all of a sudden, my gifts started to show up. So understanding your gifts is really important, and because you'll see them surface and you'll relate to them very clearly. Most everybody does relate to when we go over their superpowers, because especially if you're a little bit older, you can reach back and say, yeah, that's me. That's exactly what I do. But this is a lot of fun, really connecting with your superpowers. And not just that, but when do they typically come out? Like, we don't just go around sharing our gifts. They have to be shared appropriately at the right time with the right people under the right circumstances. So we get into that a little bit as well. Then we go into more detail in number 15 about those superpowers, and really get into a lot of small information that really gives you just more detail about those superpowers. And then lastly, finishing up here, how are you meant to fit into a large organization, or are you meant to fit into a large organization? Which particular area would that be? And we're looking at 6 major areas in a large company or organization. And this person fit in at an executive level in the area of competition. So, you might fit into 1 or 2 or even more of these areas based upon your design. Good information to know if you're applying for a situation, or if you're attracted to an organization and company and they want to put you here or there or over there. This is very valuable information to know. So that covers really the 16 kind of areas that we go through in the overview. And this is very, very extensive. And so we ask people, look, you're not going to get all this. You're not going to understand it, in these 2 sessions, these 3 sessions. This is going to sink into your being over weeks, months, and years. So other things we can do partnership analysis with this. We can look at you and how you connect with other people, whether it's your family or friends or business partners and so forth. And I like to connect with parents in terms of their kids, really helping them to understand their kids a little bit, and also help them, what questions can you ask your children that will naturally bring out their talents and abilities and their knowingness, really helping people children make their own decisions very early on in life and get in touch with that. Very, very, and it's been said by the originator of this work that this work really is about our future generations. And then we're prepped. We're prepped for, anything you want to do. You have a dream in life and you want to pull that forward. I have the Dream Builder program. World Power is really an amazing program in terms of surrounding 9 different environments around you that support you in your career, in your life, in your family. And Inner Freedom, being able to function even when you are very challenged emotionally, learning techniques where you can still function at a high level with this Inner Freedom method. So you can get little descriptions from that going back to the website. And I also offer single sessions. It's not necessarily, sometimes people don't want a 90-day, and it's not the right time to do something for 90 days. And so I have single sessions that to help gain access. You get a BG5 analysis, you come back a couple months later, and we go in and we get some insights, some deeper insights, what's taken place, and where can we go from here. So that really covers it all. Really, thank you so much for bearing with this, and I really appreciate you being here. I look forward to connecting with you. Give me a call. Let's connect. Let's at least spend 30 minutes together and see what's really important to you in your life right now. Always my best. Thanks again. Bye for now.